morning the war started, the sky was red, not from the sun, but from fire. I remember hearing screams before the rooster even crowed. Our town, Okenela, was burning. It wasn't an enemy from far away this time. It was our own sons, fighting for the same throne. Prince Adewale, the first son of the late king, had declared himself ruler. He wore the crown 2 days after the burial, but his younger brother, Prince Folarin, refused to kneel. He said the king's spirit had chosen him, not through birth, but through destiny. That's how it began. I was 17 then, working with my father at the forge near the eastern gate. The sound of hammers and fire used to fill the air. But that morning, the hammers were replaced by drums, war drums, and the fire wasn't from our furnace. It was from burning roofs. I saw people running, carrying their children, leaving their homes. I saw soldiers from both sides, cousins, friends, even neighbors, fighting each other with machetes and spears. The worst part? I saw Adewale's men drag an old woman from her hut because she cooked for Folarin's soldiers. They tied her to a tree. When she cried that she was innocent, one soldier said, "There are no innocents in war." Then they set her hut on fire. I still remember her voice, shouting her son's name until the fire took it away. For 3 days, Okenla turned into something I didn't recognize. Our market, where we sold yam and palm oil, became a camp for the wounded. The palace well, where the children used to play, was filled with blood. Every drumbeat meant another death. By the 4th day, I stopped counting bodies. By the 7th, the vultures had stopped flying away. I once saw the 2 princes as boys, running through the market, chasing goats and laughing. They used to look like one soul split into 2 bodies. Now they sent men to kill each other like strangers. My father used to say, "When brothers fight, the land bleeds." That week our land bled more than ever. I was in the palace when it ended. The walls were black from smoke, and the courtyard was full of broken spears. The king's throne stood in the center, untouched, like it was waiting for someone who would never sit again. I had served both princes since they were children. I used to carry their sandals to the river when they went swimming. I knew them both. Adewale was quiet and proud. Folarin was bold and restless. They were brothers, yes, but they were never the same. On the last day, they faced each other in the throne room. I was hiding behind one of the pillars, trembling. Adewale held a sword. Folarin held a spear. The drums outside had stopped. Even the birds were silent. Folarin said, "Brother, the crown is just metal." "Let the land choose," Adewale replied. "The land already chose, through our father's blood." Then Adewale charged. They fought like lions, circling the throne. The sound of metal filled the air. Sharp, angry, final. I don't know who struck first, but when it ended, both of them were on the ground. Adewale's sword had cut deep into Folarin's chest, but Folarin's spear had gone through Adewale's heart. They died almost at the same time. I remember Adewale trying to speak, his lips moving, but no sound came. Folarin looked at him and smiled weakly, like he was saying, "It's over now." I ran out to call the guards, but by the time I returned, both princes were gone. The throne was still there, shining under the little light that slipped through the cracked roof. No one wanted to touch it. For months after that, the kingdom had no ruler. The elders said the spirits of the brothers still guarded the palace, watching, waiting, but nothing supernatural ever happened. Just silence, deep and heavy silence that made the air feel strange. People went back to their farms. The markets reopened, but laughter was rare. Every time I passed the palace door, I would remember those 2 boys chasing goats, laughing in the same courtyard where they later died. Years later, I became a blacksmith again. I made hoes, cutlasses, even small knives for traders. But I never made swords, because every time I lifted one, I remembered that week. The smell of blood, the sound of drums, and the sight of brothers turning on each other for power that didn't last. Sometimes I sit by the forge at night and listen to the wind passing through the trees near the old palace. It sounds almost like voices, not ghosts, just memories. In the end, the throne was still there, but the men who fought for it were gone, and the land, though quiet, never truly healed.
If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, and share.